My pink brony bros. And we dance at the gay club, oh my God. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong. What's up, everybody? It is your host, Michael Garza 43. What is going on, my party people? My pink brony bros. You guys are my pink brony bros at the end of the day, and it's good to see you guys. We're getting a couple things set up here. We're getting Social Stream Ninja pulled up. We are doing so many gay things. We're not trying to be too gay. But, Annie, what is going on, my brony bro? You're a pink brony bro. No, what's up, dude? We're getting the show underway. Trump Unfiltered, dude. We're gonna react to nothing but Trump videos right now. He's been talking to people, doing things. He's been all over the place, man. And I'm excited, man. I'm fucking pumped. I'm pumped up like a bathmate. Yo, I'm pumped up. Like a bathmate. Ho, I'm pumped up. Yeah. Give me 1 second, everybody. You're all mine. Pink brony bros. Give me 1 second, everybody. Was it tap, subscribe, and like the stream? I think was what it was last night. So convoluted. All right, how about this? Go up. Give me just a few seconds, my pink brony bros. There's a couple things I gotta do real quick. All right. Here we go, dude. Trump went live taking questions during the cabinet meeting. Shit. Here we go, man. Yeah, I want to definitely take a look at the cabinet meeting that he had. I'm very curious about it. Let's see. Hold on. Let's look up Trump. Trump makes me hump. Oh, here we go. President Trump participates from the White House directly. Hell yeah. Okay, so we're going to pull this up real quick. Thank you guys for being so patient with me while I get everything set up in the studio. So we're just going to look at as many different Donald Trump videos as we can today. We're obviously, I glaze Trump quite a bit on this channel. I get a lot of flack for it. I see nothing wrong with glazing Trump, dude. I don't see anything wrong with it. People are always like, oh, you glaze Trump too much, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't care, bro. I don't care. Let me glaze, bro. Let me glaze. Michael Saylor. You guys big fans of Michael Saylor at all, by the way? Damn, dude, we just got a whole bunch of subscribers, dude. We're at 9,259. We're trying to get to 9,300 before the end of the stream, so more subscribers we get, the better. Let's go, dude. You're a pink brony bro. And you dance at the gay clubs, oh my god. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong. All right, let's go. Okay. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. Oh, here we go. Hot. Where did it? Okay, that works. Let's see what Zaddy.
How are you?
I call Trump Zaddy at this point, which I think is smart. I think he's pretty much a Zaddy.
Are you all ready? A lot of media, as usual.
Hey, my boy Marco Rubio is to his right, and we got Pete Hegseth to the left.
So thank you to the incredible members of my cabinet. They're doing a phenomenal job. Everybody pretty much agrees to that, including our newest member, Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen. Thank you, Mark.
Mark Wayne Mullen, what a sexy stud. That guy's the man right there. That guy is a stud, dude. I like that guy. I like this guy. I think he's great. This guy, not so. This guy right here. I'm a little sketched out by Howard Luggan or whatever the hell his name is.
And we all know him very well, and he was a very popular senator, very effective senator.
You guys can't even see it.
Effective probably being the more important word. JD,
hold on.
Yes, sir. And
I didn't even have it on the screen. Holy shit.
I think you do fantastically well. Congratulations to you. You have an amazing family. They were here yesterday in the Oval, sworn in. His family's amazing, so thank you very much. We're now on day 41 of the disgraceful Democrat shutdown of Mark Wayne's department. Congratulations. You came into a department that shut down by the radical Democrats, right?
I realized that the volume up a little too high,
really
my bad.
Punishing the American people. I saw it today on one of the shows where they were...
Sorry if the volume was up a little high. I forgot to turn down the volume in the browser, so...
Interviewing people at the airport, and they're all angry at the Democrats. They're saying they're actually angry at Schumer. I didn't think anyone knew his name. One woman said, that Schumer is disgraceful. He's a disgrace to our country.
Chuck Schumer, baby. Hey, thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button, though. I really do appreciate it. The channel's growing at a rapid rate. We're trying to get to 9,300 before the end of the stream. We're going to see what we could do to get to that point on the subscribership. But, no, I do want to thank you guys for being incredible brony bros, incredible brony warriors. You guys are amazing, man. So I just want to give a shout-out to each and every one of you guys. So let's keep going. And let's be pink brony bros, dude.
Democrats, they know what's happening. But they're punishing the American people, including travelers at airports, all in the quest to return to open borders and give amnesty to illegal alien criminals. They want to give amnesty to some of the criminals that came into our country, just about all of them, actually, if you look at it. They love sanctuary cities, which is a sanctuary for criminals. They want to make sure they're taken care of. That's what we're fighting about. That's really what they're fighting. They don't talk about that, but that's what they're fighting about. They want to protect criminals. In many cases, 11,888 murders. Many of them, I will say, are gone now.
Jeez, that is actually a pretty wild number. And thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe. God, Joe Biden's awful.
Because of us, we got them out. But still have some left. Should have never happened, should have never been allowed to come into our country. But we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let the Democrats...
Hey, if you guys can, don't forget to vote in the poll. Don't forget to vote in the poll, baby. If you guys can, though, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. We're trying to get to 9,300 subs by the end of this stream. I think we could do it, man. Let's go.
Get away with this stuff, and people are wise to them, so they need to end the shutdown
Joe Biden,
immediately,
baby.
or we'll have to take some very drastic measures. This morning, I want to give an update on the Operation Epic Fury, which is an appropriate name because we are absolutely obliterating them.
Yeah.
Over the past 3 weeks, we've been hitting Iran's military capabilities at a level that few people have ever seen before. People never knew there was such a capability. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world by far.
Oh, yeah.
I built it during my first administration,
Stud.
and I used it during my second administration.
Stud.
Unfortunately,
No, he built it up, man. But I will say that Joe Biden probably did not help. Joe Biden did not help. In fact, if anything, I think that Joe Biden's, the damage that he did as president, I'm still angry that if the American people, look, I'm just going to assume the American people voted for Joe Biden. You really thought that Joe Biden would be better than Trump, and that's the saddest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe Americans really thought that Joe Biden was better than Trump. Like, they took one look at Joe Biden and thought, oh, this lifelong politician who has screwed over I'm going to say the rest of it, but I'm not going to say the rest. It wasn't very to say, but allegedly. No, he's just, look, Joe Biden's one of the worst senators I've ever seen. I am very happy that Donald Trump ended up winning in 2024 because there was no way in hell America would have been respected under Kamala Harris. Just no way in fucking hell. She is awful.
because I'd rather not have to use it.
Like, I didn't realize that you could go even more incompetent than Joe Biden. Like, I mean, she's about at the same level of incompetence as Joe. But Kamala and Joe, oh my God. Match made in heaven, though. I mean, if you were to have two incompetent people, man, match made in heaven. That's the problem with Democrats, though. The Democrats run their operation a lot like a pirate ship. So, like, did you notice, like, and this is something that people brought up as well. I'm not the only one to bring this up, but did you ever notice that Democrats seem to hire people who are much more incompetent than them? Because basically being a Democrat is like being on a pirate ship. You don't want the person under you to take your job. That's what they're fearful of the most. Donald Trump is the complete opposite. Donald Trump's like, dude, I want a vice president who is technically better than me. Who, if I were to go, for whatever reason, JD Vance would kick ass. And he would. JD Vance is a very competent, loyal dude. But yeah, if you look at, like, notice how, like, Barack Obama made Joe Biden his vice president. Joe Biden obviously is very incompetent. Joe Biden made Kamala Harris his vice president. She is highly incompetent. Even more incompetent than Joe, believe it or not. And then Kamala Harris, when she ran against Trump, I couldn't believe that she found somebody even more incompetent than her. I guess, there's always a line of even more incompetent people. But yeah, Kamala Harris got Tim Walz, and thank God she didn't win, because we would have had Tim Walz, of all people, as our vice president. Fuck that. Fuck that to all hell. So the problem is Democrats tend to hire people that shouldn't be in specific positions, whereas guys like Donald Trump, who are businessmen, tend to get people in the right positions. I will admit I'm not a big fan of Kash Patel or Pam Bondi. They have been, in my mind, one of the worst picks. I know that he talks highly of them, but I'm still not sold on either of them. I think Kash Patel is, he's just incompetent, dude. I don't see what Donald Trump sees in him, but maybe there's something he sees that I'm not aware of. But yeah, other than that, but no, every other pick that Donald Trump has made has been fantabulous, dude. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have been the only ones that have sucked, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean, you guys may differ. You guys may love Kash Patel. That's fine. You guys may love Pam Bondi. Fine. I'm just not fans of them. I don't think they're very competent people. And I don't have confidence in their competence. Yeah. Some people in the chat who are very angry right now. Very aggro, bro. But thank you guys for tuning in, though. I really do appreciate it. We're kicking butt and taking names.
But it's a display of force and precision and skill like nothing the world has really witnessed, although you got a pretty good witnessing of it in Venezuela also. And that was a smaller version of what we're doing now. We're crushing their missiles and drone stockpiles, destroying their defense industrial base. We've wiped out their Navy completely, their Air Force completely. We've wiped out a large percentage of their missiles. And the missile launchers, without the launchers, the missiles don't do any good. And we've knocked out probably close to 90% of the launchers, probably more than 90% of the missiles themselves. Between some they fired and more than they fired, we knocked out. We've also destroyed a lot of the factories. We're continuing to do that, but a lot of the factories where they manufacture the drones and the missiles. The drones, too, are way down, but the reason they're down is they go one way and they don't come back, because for the most part we're shooting them down. But we also are able to, we've really done tremendous damage to the places where they make them. And just so we set the record straight, because I've been watching the Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal.
Okay.
They are begging to make a deal, not me.
So wait, Iran's begging to make a deal. Here's the problem, though. Who is he talking to in Iran? They have such a fractured leadership at this point. I mean, I want to know who my boy is talking to. You know? Who is my boy talking to in Iran? It matters. It matters.
They're begging to make a deal.
And it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to beg to make a deal. They want to, and I get it. And, you know, who wouldn't want to make some kind of deal at this point? Oh my God, echoes from above? No fucking way. Hold on.
Echo as from above says.
Echoes!
I would like to challenge you, though. I get that you like Trump, but he's not winning in Iran and he lies a lot.
Yeah, you know, honestly, echoes, man, I know that we're probably diametrically opposed on this, but yeah, no, I'm a Trump glazer. I'll admit that. I glaze Trump. Absolutely. I'm a Trump fanboy. I was a Trump fanboy well before he even became president. Does he maybe exaggerate things? Yes. And does he probably lie a little bit? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. And maybe it's a level of 4D chess that he's trying to play. I don't know. But my thought process behind it is this. We're definitely winning the war. I mean, dude, the entire Navy for Iran is cooked. And then also, if you think about it, Iran started bullying its neighbors by shooting whatever missiles it had at its neighboring countries. That made them pissed at Iran. Honestly, Iran is basically surrounded at this point. So I don't know. I mean, but I don't know how you could say he's not winning in Iran. I mean, this war is practically over. And in fact, my estimation is I think it's going to start winding down around March 31st. I believe the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open very shortly. Hold on. Let's take a look and see what Echoes is saying here real quick.
Echo as from above says. He's talking to Iran via a back channel. Either way, Iran has come out every time and said that's not true, and look at their actions. Iran is being aggressive and Trump is sending troops.
Yeah, and look, I think that honestly this could be one of those situations where the only way to solve the problem is through force. You know, you can negotiate as much as you want, but the problem is, I think with Iran, I just don't think that they truly want to negotiate. And also, I think their leadership is so fractured that you could be talking to one person who you think is the leader, but they may also think that somebody else is the leader. I think that, honestly, I think a lot of the loyalties in the Iranian military, I think a lot of the loyalties have been fractured. That's my opinion, at least. But Echoes from above, man, it's been a long time since I've seen you, man. I know that at one point I beefed with you a little bit, but yeah, I forgot about the beef. I remember the beef, but I don't really care that much about the beef. I think you're a cool dude, ultimately. So any hard feelings I had about you before, man, I don't really think you're that bad. I tend to get overly defensive about things. So I appreciate you, bro. But I appreciate the comments, man. Hell yeah. Echoes from above, everybody. Check out the man's channel. Total stud. Total stud.
Anybody that saw what was happening over there would understand why they want to make a deal. But they say, oh, we're not talking to them. Anybody would know they're talking. And only a total fool. And they're not fools. They're very smart, actually, in a certain way. And they're great negotiators. I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators. And they are begging to.
Let's see.
Echo as from above says. Yeah, it's been a while, good to see ya. And nope, no beef, I was mean to you a while ago and I apologize for that. I think you're cool and I like seeing that your Chanel has grown.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I see, yeah, but yeah, no, the channel it's grown a lot more than I anticipated. You know, I decided to start using a simpler strategy. Vertical lives has been a big thing. Doing vertical live streams has been a game changer. Doing 5 short videos a day has been a game changer. I basically focused on the vertical format because honestly, that's where the eyeballs are at. You know, I haven't really changed the nature of my show, though. Well, I guess I have. I react to more content than I used to. I'll admit that. But I basically just use 3 hashtags for every video. That's my rule. 3 hashtags per video. I make sure the hashtags are highly relevant to what I'm discussing in the video, so that way it's indexed appropriately within the YouTube search algorithm. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I've been able to grow it organically, which has been really, really fun. And I'm almost at 10,000 subs, which is kind of unreal. It's a little bit surreal, man. So we're getting to 10,000. But anybody who hasn't subscribed yet, by the way, please tap the subscribe button. Yeah, trying to keep. Oh my God, sorry for coughing, but yeah, no, I've really and also I've improved the way that I speak. I think maybe not completely. I still speak kind of like a moron, but yeah, no, I've improved a lot of things about the show. Some of the audio quality. Echoes from above says, really, vertical live streams actually work. I was wondering why your lives were vertical. Very nice. Love to see hardworking YouTubers. Yeah, so, and the reason that vertical lives work is, and I'll tell you why. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Mr. Echoes, but I want to tell you why I think vertical lives work, and I'll give you my philosophy real quick. Before you go, if you're out of here or anything. But the reason I think the vertical live format works is because a lot of people are on their phones. And honestly, I think a lot of people don't want to watch a live stream that's horizontal when they're on their phones. People want to watch like this. You know, they want to watch, you know, they're gooning. They're on their phone. They're gooning. They're like, oh, shit, there's this guy's live. No, but I've been getting a lot of viewership. Also, how I formulate my title has a big thing to do with it. Notice how the title says Trump Unfiltered. It's a very simple title. It's a very straight to the point, usually 2 to 3 words. But vertical, I will say the vertical lives have been a godsend. So I've been very loyal to the vertical format, mainly because that's where the eyeballs seem to be. Yeah, and so I've just noticed that's where the eyeballs are at, and it's been one of the reasons for the rapid channel growth. And then, like I said, short videos that are in the vertical format as well. I've been recording bite-sized news reports, basically, using my phone. I was actually thinking about doing some bite-sized news reports, just recording through Streamlabs OBS, since I already have it configured in vertical. And by the way, I'm doing the vertical format simply using Streamlabs OBS on my desktop. So I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, a lot of it's just been research, you know, because I always want to improve the channel in some way, whether it's audio wise, whether it's video wise. So it is always, I'm constantly learning new things. And by the way, I will say shout out to ChatGPT, by the way. ChatGPT in itself, because I pay $20 a month for it. ChatGPT has been a game changer because it's almost like having a marketing consultant in my pocket that I can constantly, like, I'll have conversation. It sounds crazy, but I have conversations with ChatGPT trying to come up with marketing strategies on how to organically market this show. So anyway, I could go on and on about the marketing aspect. Let's keep watching Trump though, and yeah, I'm just excited how far the show's gone. I feel very fortunate and very lucky. I've been working my ass off though to make this all happen. Though it's been amazing. Just buy an account? What? No, I'm not. I'm not buying accounts. That's stupid, dude. Honestly, I've made a. This dude 133 says that's stupid. Buying an nah.
Work out a deal. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago. Or they should have done it when we first came into office, because 2 years ago they had free reign under Biden. Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe, baby.
President in the history of our country, when he allowed to happen to our country at the borders, and even with a thing like this. But not just him. Every president for 47 years, every president should have done this. They should have done it a long time ago, because you cannot give lunatics a nuclear weapon, and they would have had a big one. It stopped.
I think so too. Here's the thing about Iran. I think Iran having any nuclear weapon capabilities, I believe, is completely dangerous. I don't trust Iran, mainly because they've been the number one state sponsor of terror for way too effing long. And then two, they just, I don't know. There's just something about Iran that I guess I'm just not a fan of the Middle East countries overall. But I do want to see the people of Iran prosper. I really do. I just think that the government of Iran has been toxic for so long and terrible. I mean, when you're killing your own citizens for protesting the current regime, it just feels like that regime should no longer exist. And they were killing them by like the tens of thousands last time I checked. So it's wild to me.
Stopped, really, when we did the B2.
So yeah, am I a big fan of the U.S. going to war with another country? No, I really am not. But at the same time, I see Iran, and they've just been making life hell in the Middle East for everybody else. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, Trump? Just go in there and get it done, man.
But even before that, the Barack Hussein Obama, what he did where he gave them the Iran nuclear deal, gave them free will toward a nuclear weapon. Basically, he chose Iran over Israel and others that didn't want him to do it. But I terminated that deal. Had I not terminated that deal, you would have had a nuclear weapon years ago, and it would have been used, guaranteed. And one of the
and I think that the problem I have with Iran is I really do believe that they would. I believe they would use a nuclear weapon. Absolutely, 100%. Like, if you think they wouldn't, man, I don't know. I just don't know. Crazy, though. Crazy, man. Does Trump admire Biden and Obama? I don't know. Maybe. Didn't they say, okay, so Eugene Williams is saying, didn't they say that they bombed and ran out the nuclear program? Didn't they say they bombed? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they probably did. But here's the thing. I think that, first off, in my opinion, and people are going to get pissed off at me for saying this, but I firmly believe that a weak Iran is a good Iran. And I mean this when I say this. A weak Iran is a good Iran. Because then they can, when I say weak, I mean like militarily speaking. I don't think they should have nuclear weapons. I think it's good that Trump did what he did. Trump doing what he's doing is perfect, man. But if you guys can, double tap the screen to like the stream, and please subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow in more ways than one. Let's go. Let's feel sexy at the Pink Brony Club. I'm going to keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm going to keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. All right, let's keep going, bronies.
Reasons you know about the guarantee is because their neighbors were sort of like bystanders. They weren't involved very much. They didn't choose heavy sides. They didn't want to, because people were concerned with Iran. There was a big black cloud over the Middle East. They were concerned, but all of a sudden the war starts, and they start shooting at these five countries. They start shooting at Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE.
Yeah, they were, like I said earlier, they were firing at their neighbors like fucking morons. Like, Israel and the U.S. are attacking you, not your neighboring countries, you dummy. Give me one moment. Okay.
Kuwait, Oman, they start shooting at them, and everybody was shocked, including us. You know why? Because they're sick.
Sorry, man. I had to text. I had to text a little bit. Anyway, let's keep going.
And they had a plan to take over the Middle East, and some of those missiles that were shot at them.
So Savage is asking if I support
Savage
Trump.
7XXL says, do you support Trump?
I'd say yeah for the most part. I would say yeah. You're probably wondering why. Why do I support Trump? I don't think he's as bad as the mainstream media makes him out to be. Yeah, does he exaggerate things? Yes, he does. I'm not here to convince you guys to love Trump. I'm not about that. I don't try to convince. I really don't try to convince other people of my beliefs. I'm secure enough in my belief to not have to push my beliefs on anybody. I will praise and I will glaze Trump daddy, but and if you guys hate that, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you that Trump is the best. I enjoy reacting to Trump. He's a fascinating guy. He is successful. I do love successful individuals. Do I agree with everything that he's done? No. There are certain things that I disagree with him on. For example, his hiring of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, I think were lousy hires. I think his, what was it about Bitcoin? The fact that he likes cryptocurrency kind of pisses me off. Not just kind of, really does. That's the one thing that Trump and I are so diametrically opposed on is cryptocurrency. When I hear him praising crypto as if it's a good thing, look, cryptocurrency at the end of the day is just a string of data. And the reason it's easy to transport is because it's a fucking string of data, and there's nothing valuable about it. Ultimately, the software for Bitcoin, for example, is open source, which means that Bitcoin is always going to have an infinite level of competition, because anybody who has an inkling of understanding of software development can take the source code to Bitcoin and be like, oh, I'm just going to create my own personal network, and we're going to compete directly with Bitcoin. Thank you so much, Hero92694 Abel. I appreciate you I appreciate your subscribership. Thank you for tapping that subscribe button. Let's put your name back up on the board real quick. Small Wiener Gang. Small Wiener Gang. Hell yeah. We are all part of the Small Wiener Gang on this channel. I don't think your comments are being blocked. I did see the comment that says, Michael Lol, come on, man. Sometimes YouTube... I just type here. Hold on. Let me see if I think I have to put in all messages are visible. Let me see if that works. Middle East is basically Iran versus everybody. I do see that one now. That's the one I do see now. It's possible. Here's the thing. YouTube is... YouTube, I think, is kind of anal about certain comments. Like, if they find it to be, I guess, too sensitive, because YouTube is very nanny-like with their AI moderation now. Because I don't have any moderators on my channel, so that's the thing. Like, I have zero moderation except for whatever YouTube's default moderation is. I got like zero moderation on this shit.
And were locked long before we even started this process. They were locked and loaded and aimed at those countries. They wanted to take over the Middle East, but we happened to come along, so it wasn't so easy. So right now their Navy is sunk in the largest capability. But they should.
Oh, that was weird. Like it fucked out for a second, now it's back. Okay, cool. What the hell happened? Middle East is different. Yeah, that's the thing, man. They do. That's the thing. A lot of those countries in the Middle East, they're not fans of each other. That's for sure. They go a little ham on each other. So they go cray cray, man.
Shot the now famous Ireland, the island that the UK was very afraid to give us because they didn't want to get dragged in. But we don't want to get dragged into their wars either. You know? It's one thing we're very disappointed, I'll say it publicly, we're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing.
True that.
And I've always said, 25 years ago, I mean, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25.
I will admit, Trump is well versed in the world of politics, even when he was a businessman, because you kind of, at a certain point, you kind of have to be. You kind of have to be at least a little versed in politics if you're going to be in the world of real estate, kind of. I mean, at the level he was at. So he definitely rubbed a lot of elbows, things of that nature. But yeah, Donald Trump, man, total stud. I know not a lot of people agree with me on that statement, but, he's been in the real estate world for a very long time. He's done his thing. He's done whatever he's needed to do. And but yeah, no, Trump is the man in my opinion. I know people are gonna get so pissed every time I say like Trump is zaddy or Trump is the man, dude. People get pissed.
5 years ago, that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly,
oh, dude, NATO's a paper tiger. That's hilarious. Because here's the thing, man. I'm not a big. I think NATO has been for the most part, not all the way, but pretty useless. Now, it's unpopular opinion, granted, because they never seem to really come to our aid overall. But honestly, the Iran war is looking more and more over every day. I know that the mainstream media wants to tell everybody that, oh, the Iran war is going poorly. We barely have any control over the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, it's like, no, we do. More than you realize. But anyway.
We'll come to their rescue, but
maybe not fully. But trust me when I say this. I have a good feel. Oh, I wouldn't say trust me on this one because it's a prediction. You can't really trust a prediction. But I will say this. My prediction is that this is going to start winding down by the 31st of March. That's my prediction. That's what I think. Let's keep going.
Never come to ours. And I want you to remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue. Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated. They said, we'd love to send ships. They actually made a statement, a couple of them, that we want to get involved when the war's over. No, it's supposed to get involved when the war's...
They wanted to get involved when the war was over? What the hell is the point? You just want to be cleanup crew? You just want to clean up the mess? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Come on, man.
Beginning, or even before it begins. We had the UK say that we'll send, this is 3 weeks ago, we'll send our aircraft carriers, which aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carrier when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it.
What a stud, dude. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I tell everybody on this channel that I am very much a Trump sexual. I love the dude. I think he's fabulous. He's great, man.
And we don't need it. And we don't need them. We estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission, and we're way ahead of schedule. If you look at what we've done in terms of the destruction of that country, I mean, we're way ahead. Think of it, they have no navy, and they had good ships. 154 ships have been shot down and are resting very nicely at the bottom of the sea.
That's wild,
And we
dude.
did that in a matter of less than a week.
Under the sea.
Because we have the greatest military in the world by far, nobody even close. So we estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission. 26 days in, we're really a lot ahead of schedule. The Iranian regime is now
Stud, dude. Stud.
admitting to itself that they have been decisively defeated. They're saying to people, this is a disaster. They know it. That's why they're talking to us. They wouldn't talk otherwise. But they're talking to us because they've got a disaster in their hands. They're defeated. They can't make a comeback. We're free to roam over their cities and towns and destroy all of their crazy nuclear weapons and missiles and drones that they're building. Oh, we're doing that.
So we got some people who are angry in the chat. How many leftists can we anger today? So we got some leftists who are very angry at Daddy Trump. Let's take a look here. We got Jasper says we have zero reason to get involved in Trump's mess. And then Big Gills says he is full of BS. He's about to destroy everyone's life on the planet. Now, here's the thing, man. I think it's good that we disarmed Iran for the most part. Iran just shouldn't have a navy, period. End of story. Look, I think the big thing here is that I know that people think that we're not winning this war. Some people don't, because the mainstream media paints a picture, and I think it's a lie, that look, no war is going to be easy, but this has been, for the most part, a virtual annihilation. We have fractured the entirety of the leadership in Iran to the point where there's going to have to be some sort of government overthrow. The leadership is weakened so much, their military is weakened so much, that a government, that a regime shakeup is underway. You may not believe me, but it appears to be true. If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. We are currently sitting at 9,260 subscribers. Once again, 9,260. If you guys can, please tap that subscribe button. It makes the channel grow, and it makes me feel like I got a bigger dong than I really do. But join the small Weena gang. Hell yeah. So, yeah, just tap that subscribe button. It really does help more than you guys know. And also, if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button. If you guys think that Pete Hegseth is a total G, top G, tap the subscribe button. If you guys love Marco Rubio and JD Vance, please tap the subscribe button. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, why you acting like a hoe?
They now have a chance to make a deal, but that's up to them. And they'll tell you, we're not negotiating. We will not negotiate. Of course they're negotiating. They've been obliterated. Who wouldn't negotiate? They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can.
Begging, dude. They're begging. They're on their knees. They're begging, please. Make a deal with me. Yeah, JD is a pimp, dude. I love JD Vance, dude.
Make the right deal. And if they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Hormuz Strait will open up. And even now, we don't know if there are any mines. You know, they have 22 they call mine droppers. Think of it. Who would have 22 mine droppers? There's a boat that drops mines. Who has 22 mine droppers? Except for people with very evil intention. So every one of those mine droppers has been struck with the same weapon we used to stop drugs from coming into the United States of America. When we hit those boats, it's the exact same weapon, extremely effective. We have unlimited supplies and extremely effective. But they have no more mine droppers. By the way, speaking of drugs, we're 98% down drugs coming in by water, by the ocean, by the sea. 98%. And we're trying to find out who are the 2% because we think they're the bravest men anywhere in the world. Maybe women. But whoever's on those boats.
So wait, you're saying that America is the world's new laughingstock? How, dude? Honestly, we just showed off the fact that our military's strong as fuck. If you guys can, though, please tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. And double tap the screen to like the stream. Once again, double tap the screen to like the stream, especially if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do. Let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going, dude. Donald Trump's a stud. I don't care what anybody says.
Is very brave or doesn't watch television. But where drugs coming in by sea, coming in by water, are 98% down. And now we'll stop the drugs coming in by land. The land is...
Yeah, and thank God. By the way, the fact of the matter is, you know, one thing I loved about the closed border situation is that there was, when under Biden's open border policy, there was a lot of fentanyl and drugs and shit coming across the border. Trump cut that shit out. Which is smart, man. You got to cut that shit out, dude. You got to do it, man. But hey, everybody, we're at 9,261 subscribers. Once again, we're at 9,261 subs. Make sure that you guys tap the subscribe button so that way we can get to 9,300 before the end of the stream. We're trying to get to that number. So please don't forget to simp-scribe to the channel. Not only if you subscribe, you're also really, at the end of the day, simp-scribe. And hell yeah, baby. Small Wiener Gang. Hell yeah. Small Wiener Gang. Let's go, dude.
One, you had to stop the water. A lot of it came into the water. Now it's all pinched. And these people are trying to come in by land. And we will, that's it. That's the easy one. But we had to take care of the water first. Nobody's coming in. Virtually nothing is coming in anymore. It was hundreds of millions of dollars a week were coming in by water. But they now have the chance, that is Iran, to permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions and to chart a new path forward. We'll see if they want to do it. If they don't, we're their worst nightmare. In the meantime, we'll just keep blowing them away, unimpeded, unstopped. Well, there's not a thing they can do about it. They can't do anything about it, you know? I tell you, if they could, you'd be hearing about it.
Absolutely. Hunted.
You'd be hearing about it. You don't hear anything about it. They can't shoot our jets. We have the best military equipment in the world. No, not even a contest. You see that?
Amen, baby.
That with Venezuela, they had other equipment. They didn't have ours. It didn't work. Think of it. We did a
laugh out loud.
Situation in
Great
Venezuela.
channel.
Hey, thank you so much, Mark Salmons 1288 for the $20 super chat. Whoa. Let's go. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat, my brony bro. I'm putting that up on the screen, dude. I'm putting that up for a while. Thank you so much, my pink brony bro. I'm going to reply to this as well. Thank you so much, my man. I've definitely put a lot of work into making sure the audio and video are high quality. Your super really does go a long way, and I appreciate you big time for it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Like, people don't realize that those super chats, man, they go a long way at the end of the day. So, thanks for the support, man. I do appreciate it. Hell yeah. I'm keeping that up on the board for a while. In fact, I'm gonna make sure people hear that one more time. I'm gonna put that super chat back up.
Laugh out loud. Great channel.
Yeah, Trump's the GOAT, though, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Mark Salmons, 1288 for the $20 super. That really does help a lot. Everybody, if you guys can, check out, I don't know, Mark Salmon, if you make if you make content or not, but if you guys want, check out Mark Salmons 1288. What a stud. What a sexy stud. Thank you, bro.
It was a great military operation, getting a very, very dangerous man who's killed a lot of people, forced people into our country. Incredible. He emptied his prisons in Venezuela, emptied his prisons into our country, and I hope that charge will be brought at some point.
Mark Salmon says, hold on. I like you because you don't have mods. I never said. Yeah, and I try not. I like to keep it a very unmoderated environment, and I'll tell you why. Because I want people to truly speak their mind on this channel. I don't want people to feel constrained. I will admit, though, sometimes YouTube, frustratingly enough, I think they have like AI mods or whatever. So if a comment is a little too racy or something like that, it will get deleted. Yeah, and I don't know, man. I just appreciate you, Mark Salmons, and I appreciate the fact that you understand my nature of keeping speech as loose as possible. Look, I want people to say anything they want on my chat. My chat is a free-for-all. It's like a Fortnite server. But no, I really do. I want people to say their piece, even if they're crazy. Even if they're sane, even if they're crazy. I want everybody to say whatever the hell they want, because this, I think the best way to, because I don't want to create an echo chamber. I don't want an entire chat to agree with me. In fact, it's really fun when all the leftists come into the chat and start getting pissed at me, because they get really pissed. Some of the leftists that come into the chat, man, they're like foaming at the mouth the moment they get into the chat, and they're angry, man. So I appreciate you, Mark Salmons, for recognizing that what we're trying to do here, man. I appreciate you big time, dog.
That was a big charge that hasn't been brought yet. It should be brought. He emptied his prisons into our country and was a major purveyor of drugs coming into our country. And he's now been captured and, I guess be given a fair trial. But I would imagine there are other trials coming, because they've really sued him just at a fraction of the kind of things that he's done. Other cases are going to be brought, as you probably know. In the meantime, with Iran, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing. And
Mark Salmons is like Trump for king. Look, I love, one of the reasons I love America is the fact that we don't have a king, but I understand that some people want Trump to be king. I don't want that. I love Trump. I think he's great. I do want JD Vance, though, to be president in 2028, though. That is one big thing for me. I love JD Vance. I love Trump. I love both of them. I think they're fabulous dudes. And by the way, if you guys love Donald Trump and JD Vance and Marco Rubio as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help our channel grow. We're a little smaller of a channel, but we're still trying to grow at a rapid pace. So every subscribership matters. Every subscribership counts. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys for keeping the show incredible, for keeping the show sexy, and keeping it free.
nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small potatoes. That's why I'm so disappointed in NATO, because this was a test for NATO. This was a test.
Yeah, the NATO countries could have helped out on this one. They could have easily helped out. First off, help unclog the Strait of Hormuz. I am kind of curious, though. Let's take a look at the markets real quick. As you know, I love looking at the markets during uncertain times, because whenever the markets dip, as you know, I'm a buyer of stocks, of indices when they dip. It's fun, man, especially during uncertain times, man. Dip buying during uncertain times is phenomenal sometimes. And I dance at the gay club, oh my God. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club. I'm up and my balls are on the floor. Everybody's looking at me, calling me a whore. And I heard that there's a messed up place where all my brony bros are gonna cream pie in my face. I'm having wicked dreams of creaming in Tennessee. Oh, Santa Monica, you've been so shitty to me. Won't make my mama proud. It's gonna cause a scene. She sees a brony boy. I know she's gonna scream, God, what have you done? You're a pink brony bro, and you dance at the gay clubs. Oh my God, I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong.
Help us. You don't have to. But if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression. Never forget. You can never forget. So as we end threats to America abroad, we're focused here at home on building the greatest economy in the history of the world. Now, before this started, the Dow hit 50,000. The S&P hit 7,000. Both of those achievements were not achievable. Every one of you, most of you, I guess, said you'll never hit 50,000 during a 4-year period because it was too high a number. Well,
And boom, Trump was like, fuck you, dude. We're going to hit it. Now, obviously, the Dow is down and stuff like that now. But look, I think it's temporary volatility. I really do. I think once the Strait of Hormuz is open back up, I think we're on the right path at that point. Look, we got to get the Strait open. Period. End of story.
we hit it in our first year. And I said, well, now we have to take an excursion to Iran and we have to stop this maniac who's no longer with us. The supreme leader wasn't so supreme, no longer with us. It's very sad. But we have to stop him from blowing up the world, blowing up the Middle East, and blowing up our country. And we did that.
Yep.
And frankly, I thought the oil prices would go up more, and I thought the stock market would go down more. It hasn't been nearly as severe as I thought. I think they have confidence in maybe the American president.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think the markets really haven't gone down as much as I thought they would either. I think a lot of investors are banking on the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be closed for that long. Granted, let me buy the dip on the SCHA. Let me show SCHA real quick. Buy that dip. Just buying a couple dips real quick, you guys. Buying the dip and doing a flip here real quick. buying the dips on the small cap indices real fast. But yeah, no, just kind of exposing myself to international companies right now. I mean, the VWO definitely dipped a lot today. Not financial advice by any means, but I was looking at it. I was like, oh, that's a dip buy. I'm down to buy. I love buying the dips on a lot of these ETFs, especially when it's a red day. Red days are obviously days where I like to buy a share of each of the ETFs that I swing trade. So I'm a huge fan of swing trading ETFs. It's definitely what I'm into. I'm kind of boring in that way, but no, I'm really happy though. Whenever silver dipped today, that was really cool. I mean, if silver goes down on Friday, I'm obviously going to buy more silver shares. I swing trade a silver ETF called the SLV. It's one of my favorite ones to do. So Mark Salmons has a very good question. Let me put it up. Let me read it real quick.
Mark Salmons 1288 says, what's your issue with crypto? Even if a pyramid issue, why not?
So my big issue with cryptocurrency is that it lacks intrinsic value. That's my main. And when I say lacks intrinsic value, I need to elaborate on that. At the end of the day, what is a cryptocurrency? At the end of the day, what are you actually owning? You're owning a string of data. Is that string of data actually valuable? No, it is not. In my opinion, it's not. And also just, I think reality would agree with me. Look, the reason that I'm into silver and gold instead of Bitcoin is because silver and gold have tangible properties. They are actually sought after, not... And here, so ask yourself the question, why is Bitcoin sought after and why is gold and silver sought after? The reason that gold and silver are sought after typically is because of their intrinsic properties. Like, what can it do? What is it used for? The reason it's valuable is not because somebody wants to get in and get out. It's because it's a supply and demand issue too. So there's supply and demand. There's the actual intrinsic utility of silver and gold. Then let's look at Bitcoin. Does the market deem that it's valuable? Sure. But the market for Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies is mentally ill. Because the reason it's mentally ill is because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general have zero intrinsic value, meaning that they're just terrible. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I love Charlie Munger. Don't get me wrong. Charlie Munger is absolutely correct about Bitcoin, Mark. I think he is. Now, I know that we're diametrically opposed to this probably. Do you have a giant gold brick in a safe? No, I don't. I actually, my exposure to gold is strictly through gold mining companies and gold ETFs. Those are my that is my overall exposure to gold, right there. But yeah, I'm a gold fan. I think gold is fabulous. I love I love swing trading silver preferably, and the reason I swing trade silver is because the price fluctuations are so high. I love very volatile things that have natural intrinsic value. Like, I know that silver is always going to be sought after, and silver is always going to be valuable. But yeah, my main exposure to gold and silver are through ETFs because it's honestly the easiest way to do it. And those exchange traded funds actually hold real silver and gold. Also, the reason that I'm so invested in gold and silver mining companies is simple, because if you own the mining companies, man, I mean, that's even better. Like, I think it's even more valuable to own the mining companies. So, like, Barrick Gold is one of my favorites. But yeah, owning the mining companies, owning the ETFs, I think that's really the way to go in my opinion. And look, the reason I'm against crypto is because it actually has no real world value. If I buy Bitcoin on the dip, there's no guarantee that Bitcoin's ever going to go back up again. You want to know why? Because anything with an intrinsic value is more likely to go to zero, maybe not in the near term, but in the long term, it is almost a guarantee. That's why the US dollar is set to go to zero as far as value goes. It's why any currency not backed by anything of value is bound to go to zero. Straight up. I mean, that's just the way it is. And that's the way it is.
And maybe the people sitting around this table. But Americans filing their taxes this year are receiving record-setting refunds. It's been a very big story.
I actually did get a pretty good refund this year. Like, it was shocking. I was very shocked at how much of a refund I ended up getting, man.
Very well. It should be a big story. I don't think you write about it that much, but I speak about it. You know, I speak about it because if I speak about it, at least people hear. You don't write about it. You don't write about the drug prices going down. It'll be going down.
Why? So Mark Sammons is asking, why are Bitcoin machines in gas stations not a cheap investment? I think those Bitcoin machines are fucking scams, dude. Yeah, anytime I see a Bitcoin machine in a gas station, I'm like, dude, this is so freaking stupid. No, I will say the Bitcoin economy, and I call it the Bitcoin economy, the Bitcoin markets, I think is going to crash and burn. I will admit, I don't see it as digital gold. I really don't see it as digital gold, man. I think it's digital mold. And here's the thing. One of the biggest things about Bitcoin that I hate is that it has an infinite level of competition. If Bitcoin's source code was actually closed source, then nobody would have been able to replicate it, and Bitcoin would have been the king of crypto, right? But because of all cryptocurrencies, because it would have been the only one. But because Bitcoin is open source, that's a bit of a problem. Bitcoin being open source allows for other software engineers and developers to create their own copycat of Bitcoin, which means Bitcoin then has a level of competition. Too much competition equals too much dilution, meaning that Bitcoin will always suffer to its competition. And Bitcoin is getting old very fast. So one of the reasons why I'm an advocate of betting against Bitcoin is because Bitcoin does, at the end of the day, suck and it's archaic, and I do believe quantum computers are going to be able to crack the entire network. So Mark Sammons is saying, let's see what he's saying here.
Mark Sammons 1288 says, do you think crypto isn't gonna pump from Trump? Today's prices, why not get the money?
So
But agree.
I think that crypto... Look, anytime Trump says something positive about the crypto markets do seem to pump. That is a pattern I noticed. They pump up. But it's not because they have intrinsic value. It's because people... All cryptocurrency really is at the end of the day is it has no intrinsic value, and it's all speculation. All cryptocurrency is, at the end of the day, is speculation. That's all it can be. It's all it ever will be. I think you're all aware of this, right? Come on.
30, 40, 50, 60%, 70%. Favored nations. Call most favored.
What's my thought on quantum Bitcoin AI glasses? That sounds kind of gay. I don't know. That sounds stupid.
Favored nations.
I mean, it sounds, I guess, maybe I would need to know more about it to think it's cool or stupid.
Lowest price anywhere in the world. Before we paid the highest price in the world, Bobby, right? And now we're going to pay the lowest price in the world. That's quite a difference. It's a difference of...
Hey, thank you, Astral Munchies. I love you too, bro. Hey, I'm going to... Pink brony bros. Pink brony bros. And you dance at the gay clubs. Oh, my God. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong.
From 40 to 70 and 80 and even 90%. That's a pretty big difference. But we're slashing regulations, and investment is pouring in from all over the world.
I don't know where all the oil came from, but you know what? Whatever, you know.
We have the most investment of any country in history has been put into our country in the last year. And again, we had to take a little detour. Won't be long. Going to end soon. We had to take a little detour.
What do I think of Bill H445? I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so I have no comment.
Go to Iran, and we had to put out a fire. Very dangerous fire.
Mark Sammons.
Mark Sammons 1288 says, oil is similar to crypto.
Why do you say that? How is oil... I love you, Mark, but give me a rundown. How is oil similar to crypto? Is it similar in its volatility, in its market volatility? Because oil and cryptocurrencies are totally different. Absolutely different from each other. They're not the same thing, bro. Oh, man. I don't know much about Bill H445. How about this? I'm just going to type it in real quick. I'm going to look it up on the back end. Bill H445. Let's take a look. Is it? What was it? H445? Okay, hold on. Okay, so it's the hemp and TH. Oh, okay. There are several bills labeled H445 or HB445 currently active or recently. HB445 is the hemp and THC regulation. This bill was signed into law by Government K in May 2025 and completely reshapes the state's hemp industry. Oh, wow. It actually bans all smokable and inhalable hemp products, limits THC Wow. Huh. Border Security Investment Act. Interesting. So, Mark Salmon, you're wondering what the value is? I mean, oil is valuable in the sense that it could be utilized as a fuel source. So the fact that it could be utilized as a fuel source, that matters quite a bit.
Mark Salmon's 1288 says, do you not think Trump will get gas prices under 2? It's a game.
I mean, he might. I don't know, man. It's highly possible we could see gas prices go under $2. You know, I would love to see that, by the way. I would love to see gas prices under 2. That'd be insane. I mean, that's like a wet dream to me, to be honest. That's a wet dream.
They could have blown up big portions of the world, if not the whole thing. So tomorrow we'll be announcing a variety of actions that we're taking.
I really, by the way, am so glad that Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon right now. Like, that's a good thing. We should be praising and thanking Trump for that, in my opinion.
To support American farmers, who we never forget. We love the farmers. We gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We had a tremendous amount of tariff money come in.
I think the tariffs were a good idea. I know that that's a very unpopular opinion, but I do believe the tariffs were actually a really, really good idea.
Continue to have. We've gone, as you know, the Supreme Court gave us a very unfortunate, foolish ruling, a ruling that gives the people that have ripped off our country for many years, gives them some money back.
Yeah, I don't know. The Supreme Court ruling, I don't know enough about law to know if the Supreme Court was right or wrong on that one. But hopefully they made their best judgment. I understand that he was using like an Emergencies Act to do the tariffs, so it is possible that it is unconstitutional or something like that. I will say it is up to the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution and all sorts of other things. Yeah, law is not easy, man. Law is not easy.
It's one of those things. It's a terrible, terrible, horrible mistake they made, but it's okay because we have another method that's just as good. We'll use the other method. But because the tariff money has been so substantial, we gave our farmers who have been mistreated by some countries, we gave them $12 billion, and they're extremely happy, and they deserve it. They've been great. They never complain. They just go out and they farm, and they wouldn't do anything different. They wouldn't trade jobs with any of you, except maybe some of the fake media. I don't know. Somehow I don't see that. I like their job better, actually. I love the farmers, so we gave them $12 billion. So in just a few moments, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will discuss
Scott Bessent, baby. I don't know much about Scott Bessent, to be honest, but Treasury Secretary stud. If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. And if we also, you need to, if you guys can, share the stream on X or something like that. The more the stream is shared, the better. But yeah, if you guys can, though, at the bare minimum, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. And I appreciate you all for doing it, man. More subscribers, the better, dude. That's all. All we need is more simps. If you is a pimp, then you got a simp. If you want a pimp, then you got a simp. Let's see what Mark Salmons is saying real quick.
Mark Salmons 1288 says, my only issue is don't like beef prices. Eggs went way down because people started buying eggs from farmers.
Yep. That's true.
Mark Salmons 1288 says, I still buy steak though.
Total stud. Smart move. Hey, we're at 9,265 subscribers. Once again, we're at 9,265 subs. If you guys can, though, like I said, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're pro-Trump. We're fairly pro-MAGA as well. For the most part, we believe in the Make America Great Again vision overall. But yeah, I'm a Trump fan. I'm pretty unapologetic about it, to be honest. But yeah, if you guys can, if you guys are Trump fans as well, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys love JD Vance, Marco Rubio, If you guys think that they're studs, please subscribe. You know, like I said, we're trying to get to 9,300 before the end of the stream, so I think we could pull it off. Arg! Give me 1 second. I'm gonna highlight some of the people who have subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna go grab a Pepsi and maybe take a piss. You know. Small Wiener Gang. These are just some of the people who have subscribed to the channel. It's not everybody, but some of the people here. So if you guys want to subscribe, man, take the time to subscribe, bro. Small Wiener Gang. Small Wiener Gang.
Laugh out loud.
Small Wiener Gang. 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 Okay. We're back. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, though. Let's go, dude. So I'm going to put this over here, put my microphone a little bit of a ways. I'm going to eat in front of you guys. We're going to keep listening to Donald Trump. I'm going to eat and reply to the things that Daddy Trump says. We're going to keep going. Zaddy. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody. Again, thank you for that $20 super chat earlier, Mark. I appreciate that big time, bro. That shit's incredible. It does help the channel out in more ways than one. So thank you very much, man. All right, let's listen to Daddy.
The actions that we're taking to address energy prices, which have not gone up as much as I thought, Scott, to be honest with you. And you know, it's not over, so maybe it'll go up a little bit more. It's all going to come back down to where it was and probably lower. And my predictions have been right. Trump was right about everything. They have a new hat. Trump was right about everything. It's pretty right. But Scott's going to address that. And I think before we go very much further, I want to ask Vice President JD Vance to say a few words about where we are with
JD, dude, I love JD.
the situation he's involved with Steve and with Jared on negotiations, and then some of the others will speak. We'll have Marco say a few words. Pete Hegseth, who was born for this role. I mean, he's doing a great job. They gave him a hard time. And now people, I'll tell you, somebody came up to me yesterday, gave you a very hard time, said, you know, I made a mistake. Pete Hegseth is doing a good job. So when I tell you who, you're not even going to believe it. He said, Hegseth, he gave you such a nasty hard time. But you're doing great. And then Steve is going to speak, and Scott will speak last. And if we have any questions, we'll take some questions. You may have questions. I doubt it, but you may have some questions. So, JD, please.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. It's good to see everybody. Proud to be part of this team. Proud to be serving the president of the country. Let me just say a couple things. The first of all is the president summarized this very ably. But look, the Iranian conventional military is effectively destroyed. They don't have a navy. They don't have the ability to hit us like they could have even a few weeks ago. And what that does is that gives us options, Mr. President. Now, there's been a lot of reporting about diplomatic options, about negotiations. There's, of course, Pete and his team. There are further military options. But what we have now that we didn't have when the president took over just a little over a year ago is the ability to use every tool at our disposal to ensure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. Because when I say options, I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people? That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time, is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the...
Yeah, exactly. And Iran having a nuclear weapon is a nightmarish situation that you don't want. You don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, man. You just don't. It's not a good thing, man. You want to avoid that at all costs, man. Mark Salmon says I roll 20s like zigzags. Elon is back in the building. Mark Salmon, you're a stud, man. I love you. You're a total stud, man. I appreciate you coming into the chat, dude, every time.
The president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue. I'll let Steve talk a little bit about the details of the negotiation, but the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Marco is I'm very mindful, of course, that we have a lot of folks overseas fighting very ably for the United States of America. I know Pete and the whole team, we're very proud of them, but they're fighting at a time where we are about to enter as Christians the most important week of the Christian calendar, the Holy Week that celebrates the return of Jesus Christ to Jerusalem. And so I want to say to all of my fellow American Christians, but particularly those serving in the Gulf, that I wish you all a very blessed Easter, a very blessed Holy Week, and we continue to stand behind you and continue to support you every step of the way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Marco?
The most important job any president has is to keep the American people safe. And every president says it, but we have a president that means it and does something about it. As the president outlined very clearly to the world on the night this operation began, Iran has been at war with the United States for 47 years. For 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans and attacking Americans across the
Yeah, and dude, Iran's been getting away with it too, and I don't even know why. Why Iran's allowed to get away with it. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, man. I'm gonna. You know what? A sandwich wasn't enough for me, man. I want to be a little bit fat and gonna put some chips on the table. All right. Yeah, no, Donald Trump's the GOAT, dude. Donald Trump is the GOAT.
Planet. And other presidents had an opportunity to do something about it. And they all
did.
warned about how Iran was dangerous, but they refused to act. And this president's not someone that's going to refuse to act. He's not going to leave a danger like this in place. He's going to address it, and that is what he is doing. From the very first night of this operation, the president made it very clear. People like this, and now what I'm talking about is not the people of Iran. The people that run this country are radical Shia clerics. These are religious fanatics. Look what they are doing now. At their weakest point, this is the weakest Iran has ever been, and look at what they're doing. They're attacking embassies. They're attacking hotels. Imagine what these people would do if they had a nuclear weapon. That is an unacceptable risk for the world. By the way, the president's not just doing a favor to the United States and to our people.
No, Rubio's absolutely right. If Iran is doing this with regular missiles and being idiots and belligerent, could you imagine what that unstable country would do with a nuclear weapon? Really think about that. So I think a weak Iran is a good Iran. To be honest, a weak Iran, militarily speaking, is a good Iran.
This is for the world. He defined very clearly on the first night of this operation what the goal was. We were going to destroy Iran's navy, and that is happening. We were going to, if it hasn't already happened, I'll let Pete speak to the specifics of it. We were going to destroy their missile launching capabilities. We're well on our way to achieving that goal. We were going to destroy the factory so they couldn't make more missiles and more drones. And that is moving forward. Every single objective the president clearly laid out on the first night of this operation is being effectuated. Again, Pete will speak to the specifics of it. This has been an incredibly successful operation. Every day, it may not get covered because, you know, we're unlike them. We're not bombing embassies and hotels. We're hitting military targets. But every day,
Yeah. They're kicking butt, dude.
the Department of War lets the drummer get wicked over every portion of Iran that has these military capabilities, and the results are going to bear fruit for the world. The world is going to be a safer and a better place when President Trump's mission here is achieved. And frankly, I think countries around the world, even those that are out there complaining about this a little bit, should actually be grateful that the United States has a president that's willing to confront a threat like this and not allow it to continue to persist. Because these people will kill as many Americans as they have a chance to do, and if they have a nuclear weapon, as the Vice President pointed out, they could kill millions of Americans in the future, and that is a risk that was not going to continue to exist as long as we had this president.
Thank you, Marco. You know, it's very interesting because...
Dude, Marco Rubio's amazing, by the way.
Is it Anthony Blinken? And he was saying that they should have done it. But they didn't do it. Nobody did it. Nobody did it. For 47 years, Marco, that's the number, 47. I guess now it's 48, because we've been saying 47 for a long time. It's probably 48. But for 47, 48 years, every president should have done this. And some are saying now that they made a big mistake in not doing it, but we're taking care of business. Steve Woodcock, please.
Mr. President, it is my distinct honor to be a member of the Cabinet and to report to you and your team on our negotiations with Iran. Mr. President, you directed Jared and I to
love Trump,
pursue
dude.
a diplomatic resolution with Iran prior to Operation Epic Fury, which we did. However, it became quite clear during these meetings with the Iranian negotiating team that we could not make a deal that fulfilled your objectives of the following: no enrichment whatsoever, no chance of weaponizing whatsoever, decommissioning of Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, which you destroyed in Operation Midnight Hammer, no stockpiling of any material, which they flagrantly violated.
Yep.
Turning all enriched material over to us, and a cutback in Iran's missile inventory and range capability of those same missiles.
Honestly, Iran better surrender every single frickin' missile they got. That's what I think.
Throughout our meetings with the Iranians, we heard the following from them. The Iranians have the inalienable right to enrich.
No, they don't.
Then we heard they
They
possessed enough 60% enriched material, 460 kilograms, to to make 11 atomic bombs.
Yeah, no. I don't want Iran to even have the ability to enrich uranium at all. We've seen what they do to their neighboring countries. They've been the number one sponsor of terror. I'm sorry. You do not want Iran to be a nuclear threat, period, end of story.
Finally, we heard the following statement. They would not give up diplomatically what we could not win militarily. In other words, they were again miscalculating the success of Midnight Hammer, which was a total success.
Midnight Hammer, that was a good operation.
These are incontrovertible signs, among many other signs, sir, that their regime had not given their negotiating team authority to make a deal required by you. We conferred with you and all the other members of your foreign policy team, Susie Wiles, Pete Hegseth, the chairman, Marco Rubio, JD, Scott Bessent, Chris Wright, John Radcliffe, throughout all of these negotiations, and we were repeatedly rebuffed on everything we asked for. I have no doubt that we exhausted all efforts on behalf of a peaceful resolution, as you directed. Jared and I both agreed that the Iranians were there to buy time until a weaker president arrived. This was a flawed strategy, as your clear direction was to never allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon today or any time in the future. Against that backdrop and our compelling military successes in epic fury, we have had multiple reach outs from the region and others who want to play a role in ending this conflict peacefully. I can report to you today that we have, along with your foreign policy team, presented a 15-point action list that forms the framework for a peace deal. This has been circulated through the Pakistani government, acting as the mediator. And this has resulted in strong and positive messaging in talks, as you just indicated to the press. But these are sensitive diplomatic discussions, and you have directed us to maintain confidentiality on the specific terms and not negotiate through the news media as others do. I can say this, we will see where things lead, and if we can convince Iran that this is the inflection point with no good alternatives for them, other than more death and destruction. We have strong signs that this is a possibility, and if a deal happens, it will be great for the country of Iran.
I want to see a deal happen. I would prefer a deal over bloodshed, absolutely. I just don't trust the Iranian government at this point. I don't know how anybody can trust the Iranian government. It just makes no sense to me. Nom, 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 nom. Oh shit, we got Tim Smith in the house. Oh no, we got Tim. Tim, why are you, why is Tim's, oh God. Tim Smith, man. No, here's the thing. I don't have so I intentionally don't use a noise gate or a compressor because I want you guys to hear my crunches.
Iran, for the entire region and the world at large. Your policy of peace.
Tim Smith is saying.
Tim Smith 4118 says, why are people so mad at Garza's Doritos ASMR? You'd be paying $20 a month for that on OF.
Exactly, Tim. Tim is spot on that one, dude. Absolutely 100%, dude. 'Cause I'm real the way you talk. 'Cause I'm real. I'm real, bro. I'm real. My pink brony bros. We all dance at the gay club.
Through strength is the most effective tool for a diplomatic resolution here, just as this policy was an effective tool in each and every one of all of the other conflicts you settled in your first year. Iran is looking.
Thank you, Helona. I appreciate it. By the way, you guys, we're now at 9,266 subscribers. Once again, we're at 9,266 subs. I love each and every one of you guys for being subscribers. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner to become a subscriber to the show. And Tim Smith is killing it. We got
Tim Smith 4118 says, free the crunch in 2026.
Hell yeah.
Annie 01200 says, Tim, we're killing me, buddy.
No, but thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. 9,266 subs, by the way, dude. We are killing it. By the way, once we get to 10,000 subs on YouTube, that puts us into the 3 to 6% range of all YouTubers as far as subscribership goes. That's an accomplishment, man. I will say it's harder to get 10,000 subs on YouTube than it is to get, I think, 10,000 followers on TikTok, although I probably would have been banned on TikTok a long time ago because TikTok is very much a censorship unit. They always censor things. But let's keep going, man. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe in the upper right-hand corner, man. We're at 9,267, bro. Right, we got a lot of subs, baby. A lot of subs.
On Saturday.
Also,
Tim Smith 4118 says, Annie just friend zoned me, but I don't care because I still got 3 fruit punch juice boxes left and it's only 11 a.m.
Tim's the man, dude. Tim Smith, bro.
Saturday. Your indications that you are willing to listen to peace proposals have been well received. You have instructed us that your preference is always peace, and that we should make that our priority. We have delivered that message, sir, along with the 15 points for peace. Finally, we have told Iran one last thing. Don't miscalculate again.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Around this table is doing a great job. Pete Hegseth, please. Mr. President.
Pete Hegseth, dude. I love Pete, dude. Every time I hear Pete talk, dude, I'm not going to lie, I get just a little wet.
I'll start kind of where you left off, Mr. President. Thank you for doing the work of the free world and having the courage to step up and stop the Iranian terror regime from holding the world hostage. That's really what it is.
Absolutely, dude. 100. Iran was making things far more difficult. When Iran is powerful, when they're militarily powerful, they make things difficult for their neighboring countries. Absolutely 100%. A weakened Iran makes life a little bit, not just a little bit easier, it makes life a whole hell of a lot easier for everyone. Period. End of story. Life is now much easier because Iran is weak. And the weaker Iran is, the less they could bully everybody else in the Middle East. I'm not going to apologize for it, man. Look, if you guys love Trump as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button. If you guys think that Pete Hegseth is a top G, tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow, but let's keep going, man.
And 27 days ago, Iran had a modern military. Never in recorded history has a nation's military been so quickly and effectively neutralized. Operation Epic Fury is not an endless war. It's a decisive campaign with clear objectives to destroy Iran's offensive military capabilities and ensure they never obtain a nuclear weapon. This is stuff for the history books. This is stuff for legacy.
Yep.
Mr. President, you are acting now to ensure future generations do not have to live under the threat of a nuclear-armed Iran. However, you wouldn't know it if you listened to the dishonest hate Trump media.
Oh yeah, dude. The mainstream media is basically just a hate brigade. They hate on Trump all the time. It's like, it's so tough to watch the mainstream media because it's all they do. They're these smug elitist Karens that report on the war. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say that the mainstream media just feels like a lot of those reporters are actively wanting the U.S. to lose the war because they hate Trump that much. If you hate America that much, I'm sorry. I think if you hate America that much, just go live in Iran. Have fun. Go move to Iran. Like, I don't understand why people would like actively root against the U.S. If you live in the U.S., why would you root against the U.S.? Why are you even here? If this country is so evil, just get the hell out of here. Move away. We don't want you here. You know? Yeah, I don't trust the mainstream media. Look, if you guys have the same distrust of the mainstream media that I do, I hope you guys subscribe to this channel because we are independent media. We're not controlled by any mainstream entity. I mean, at some point, I'm not going to lie, I'm anybody's dog for a bone. So if somebody paid me $1 million to glaze Joe Biden, I'd do it. I'd be like Henry Stinson or whatever the hell that fucking loser's name is. Harry Sison or something. Anyway, yeah, so if you gave me $1 million to glaze Joe Biden all the time on YouTube for about 6 months, I'd do it. I'd do it. As long as I got to say nice things about Trump, though. But yeah, Joe Biden sucks. Is all I really want to say is Joe Biden sucks ass. Nobody took him seriously as a candidate. Nobody should have.
As you referenced, the folks here in the room, these cameras, they have a choice. You're either informing the American people of the truth or you're not. Because I hear it from my people every day. Behind every headline you write, there's a helicopter crew in the air. And behind every news banner you write, there's a battalion on the move. And behind every fake news story, there's an F-35 pilot executing a dangerous mission. My message to the media is get it right. This actually isn't something new to me. I may be a young guy, Mr. President, but I'm not a rookie in this realm. In 2007, I helped lead the surge, the public fight for the Iraq surge. Stood and watched people stand in the Senate and declare the war is lost before it even started. Who was that? It was Harry Reid. That was the Democrats and the media working hand in glove. Back then it was 3 years into a war. Now we're 3 weeks into an operation. But see, unlike Iraq, this isn't a tie. This is not parity. This is not chaos. This is success, pure American success, on plan, and as the president said, ahead of pace. Over a
Absolutely, bro.
10,000 enemy target.
And dude, we're on the right path overall as a country. I know people can't see that because they're blinded by hatred and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know how anybody could take Sleepy Joe Biden seriously. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't understand how anybody could like Joe Biden. I think that Joe Biden's just very creepy and off-putting. I mean, I'm a little bit creepy and off-putting because I got no eyebrows, but yeah, I don't know. Look, if you guys think that Joe Biden was a joke of a president, please tap the subscribe button. If you guys are tired of the woke agenda, you guys are tired of the Democrats overall, please subscribe to this channel. We are the most anti-woke channel out there. We're the most anti-Democrat. Well, I wouldn't say the most. We try to be. We're fairly overall mostly anti-woke for the most part. I just can't stand the woke agenda, period. So if you guys can, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 9,300 subs before the end of this stream. And like I said, we're only 32 subscribers away from hitting 9,300. And then from there, we're going to get to 10,000 and we're going to keep on rolling, dude. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, though. In and out 6969. Thank you for subscribing.
In and out 6969 says, I subscribed.
Thank you, my pink brony bro. I appreciate it, man. I'm not woke. Why do you think I woke? I don't think you could subscribe 1,000 times, dude. I don't know if that's possible. I don't believe that's possible. No, don't do that. Do not do that. No. Thank you, In-N-Out6969 for subscribing to the channel, though. I really do appreciate it, my brony bro. I like to give shout-outs where I can. Yeah, no. I don't believe in a corrupt system. I think you do. Big Gills. I think if you ever liked Joe Biden, you love a corrupt. I honestly think if you love Joe Biden, I think that you're a damn fool. Yeah. No, but I think we're on the right path overall. Hey, we're at 9,269 subs, everybody. We're only 31 subscribers away from hitting 9,300. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I'm excited, dude. The closer we get to 10,000 every day, man, I'm just an excited boy.
Targets destroyed, over 140, I think now you're right, Mr. President, over 150 naval vessels sunk, underground facilities destroyed, their defense industrial base in shambles, and overnight, not only do they not have a Navy, Mr. President, they no longer have a Navy commander. IRGC's Navy commander was killed overnight in operation. So no Navy leader. Now that here's the thing about the media though, if President Trump had not acted, you'd be screaming, why not? And now that he has taken decisive action, you're asking.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That's the mainstream media. No matter what Trump does, he could take a left turn, he could take a right turn. All directions the president takes, any action the president takes is the wrong action in the eyes of the mainstream media because all they want to do is smear his good name. They want to smear his good name. I don't trust the mainstream media, dude. And neither does Pete Hegseth. He doesn't trust him. Donald Trump doesn't trust him. Marco Rubio doesn't trust him. Look, I don't trust the mainstream media. I don't think anybody on this channel trusts the mainstream media. I think if you watch MSNBC, if you watch Fox News, if you watch Newsmax, I think all the CNN, I can't forget good old CNN, man. All terrible. All awful. And, hold on, I got to refresh the browser real quick. Hold on. Refresh another browser, one moment. So, no, we're tired of the wokeness on this channel. We're just done with the woke. I have no faith in the woke agenda. I don't think anybody really does. And I don't blame anybody for hating the woke agenda either. I think it's just foolish and stupid, you know? Tear this android apart. Am I the sum of my parts? Or does Starfleet own my soul? Or am I in control?
Well, why did you? It's the same old tired playbook, TDS in your DNA. But the hardworking, God-fearing, patriotic Americans out there know better.
Yeah. We know. We see through the lies of the mainstream media, bro. We absolutely do. We're tired of the mainstream media. I can't stand CNN. I can't stand MSNBC. They're all garbage. All garbage.
And you alluded to this, President Obama, Mr. President. Here's a fact that you don't hear on your networks, that we know. Many of the Iranian military factories and bases that we're systematically destroying were paid for by the pallets of American cash that Barack Obama flew into Tehran under the Iran deal. You might
Obama made some fucking mistakes, dude. Hardcore mistakes, I might add. Insanely enough. Let's keep going.
call it an inconvenient truth. Iran took our money and turned it into weapons and bunkers and ammo. And now we're destroying those weapons, and you're writing, Mr. President.
Hey, thank you so much for the... Oh, thank you, rough_cuts, for sending a clock, for sending clock it for 80 joules. I want to say thank you. Any gifts, by the way, if anybody wants to send a gift, we do appreciate gifts on this channel. It does help us out. We love to give shout-outs, but thank you, rough_cuts. I'm going to put your name up on the board.
Rough Coots says, sup.
But thank you, Rough Coots. Just having a good time, man. Just chilling out, watching a little bit of Donald Trump. Daddy Donald, dude. I love Donald, man. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the clock it for 80 joules, man. That really does help out the channel quite a bit. Seeing if I missed any other... Oh, no. Thank you for the gift, though, man. I appreciate it.
That grievous wrong. And make no mistake, we had to act. And our objectives are clear. No nukes, no Navy, and a complete dismantling of their missile program and defense industrial base. And as Marco pointed out, that mission, and the VP as well, has not changed since day one. Yet, 2 days ago, they shot 2 failed missiles on a target 4,000 kilometers away. For years, they told the world that their missiles could only range 2 kilometers. Surprise. Yet again, Iran lied. And to the world, I say London is 4,000 kilometers from...
Daddy Donald Trump, dude. I call him Daddy. Like, does anybody by the way, anybody in the chat, do you guys have a problem with me referring to Donald Trump as Daddy or Zaddy? Are you guys okay with me calling him Daddy or Zaddy? I call him Daddy Trump sometimes. I call him Zaddy Trump. Look, I'm a Trump fan. I'm a Trump fanboy, admittedly. But do you guys think that... do you guys feel like that Trump is Zaddy? I think that Trump is Daddy, dude. I think Trump is Zaddy. Is he sleeping? Oh, shit, he might be asleep.
Iran. Washington, D.C. is 3,300 kilometers from Venezuela, another country President Trump did something about that partnered for a long time with Iran. So you're telling us that Iran...
I will admit that Pete Hegseth might be glazing Trump a little bit more than even I do. And look, I love Trump, by the way. I think he's great. Tony Tone says, oh, hell yeah. Hold on. Let's take a look here real quick.
Tony Tone 55P7K says, my little girl just got out the doctor's office week 12 cancer-free. I'm so happy.
Dude, that's a relief, man. Honestly, I'm glad that she's 12 weeks free of cancer, man. I'm happy about that, man. No cancer, period. Cancer's scary, bro. And I love the advancements that have been made in the medical industry to try to cure cancer and prevent its spread. My God, man, everybody, let's give a round of applause to Tony Tone 55, man. I'm glad that your daughter's doing well. I'm glad that she's 12 weeks cancer free. That's amazing. I hope that she continues to be cancer free. My goodness, man. Let's give a round of applause to Tony Tone, everybody. That's amazing, man. Amazing.
It's not a threat to the world or to the U.S. President Trump knows better. And here's what success actually looks like right now. You mentioned it, Mr. President. A-10 Warthogs, if you know them, you love them, and Apache helicopter gunships are flying strike missions inside
9,272 subscribers, everybody. We are currently sitting pretty at... Oh, hold on.
Tony Tone 55P7K says, their technology is awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Honestly, I'm just glad she's doing better. That's amazing, dude. Honestly, as long as she's doing better, that's the most important thing. As long as she's feeling good and healthy, that's the most important thing overall, man.
Iranian airspace and throughout the Strait of Hormuz at will. See, you only send these slow, low-flying, close air support platforms when the enemy has no meaningful air defenses left. Their presence is proof that Iran's air defenses are gone. Their command and control is shattered, their top leaders hiding in underground bunkers, while their mid-level commanders are being crushed in the field. The morale of their fighters plummeting, and we see that disconnect daily. They're privately admitting, as you said, Mr. President, very heavy losses. We know that. President Trump has given us a clear mission. Our capabilities are only going up and Iran's are plummeting. We are here to win, and we're full steam.
Don't drag it out, man. Just get it done and over with, I think, is the goal. I mean, get rid of the rest of the leadership. Get rid of the rest of the regime. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think what Donald's doing is amazing. I think what Donald Trump is doing is absolutely fabulous, absolutely amazing. Look, my man's on the right path, whether you guys like to admit it or not. There's a lot of you guys are like, oh, Trump's on the wrong path. He doesn't understand what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. No, he absolutely does, man. Absolutely he does. I don't think you guys know what you're doing. That's the thing. To all the haters out there.
Speed ahead. So, Steve, we appreciate your efforts. We pray for a deal and we welcome a deal. And we have the ultimate deal maker to make it happen. But in the meantime, as I said yesterday, the department...
I mean, I'm not going to lie, dude. Trump, in my opinion, is the GOAT when it comes to deal making. I really think that, man. I think he's the GOAT. Total stud.
War will continue negotiating with bombs. War is negotiation by other means. And finally, I want to thank our incredible troops. Our pilots, crews, sailors, refuelers, air defenders, the absolute best of America, the real 1% of our country. This president, President Trump, has your back. And I know this cabinet prays for you every single day, and we ask the American people to do the same as they continue in this mission. God bless. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. It's great. I think before I ask Scott to say a couple of words, it would be great if people like the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois would say, please come in and stop the crime. A beautiful young lady was killed the other day, and the father was a very good friend of Dan Scavino, and he took it very hard. Dan took it very hard, like the father, friends. They grew up together, and it's a young lady whose life would be saved if we did what we did as an example in Washington, D.C., which is now a safe city. All the time.
Yeah, Washington is a safe city. Washington, D.C., I should say, is safer because of what Trump's been doing. Absolutely 100%. Without a doubt, dude. Trump has made that area safer. D.C. area was in complete shambles. Absolute 100% shambles. And that's the thing, man. Let's keep going.
Come up to me in the building. People that work here, they say, thank you so much. I know immediately what they're talking about.
But yeah, no more crime in D. Well, maybe not no more crime, but way less. Crime is so down in D.C., it's insane.
They're able to walk to work. They walk to work. You all walk to work. Some of you were mugged. I know you told me stories. Some of you were mugged. One person in particular.
And that should not be happening, man. People getting mugged, senators getting mugged, House of Representatives getting mugged, employees that work at the fucking, you know what I mean? They shouldn't be getting mugged. What? So why the hell? So Trump getting rid of a lot of the crime in D.C. was unbelievable. And this is the thing. I don't understand why people hate Trump. Do they hate Trump because he takes a lot of actions? A lot of people don't like the fact that he takes actions, man. Game Genie says, I believe in the American people. Trump is on. I don't think Trump's a monster. I think the mainstream media makes him out to be a monster, and that's why so many people hate him. But then again, also, I do believe that since Trump is not conventionally attractive, that's another reason why people hate him. Yeah, it's hilarious. I support the USA. Well, let's put this up.
Argel Barong 1696 says, Sir, do you support USA and Israel? If you don't mind, I'm asking.
I support the USA. I'm not a big fan of Israel. I will admit they are our allies, but at the same time, I don't trust Israel. But in this instance, I do want to give a shout out to Israel for having a helping hand in making Operation Epic Fury happen. So, you know. So I'm not a fan of Israel overall, but I do admire them in this instance for helping out with Project Epic Fury, Operation Epic Fury. Why do I keep calling it Project? Operation Epic Fury. Anyway. Hey, thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. We're at 9,275 subs. Once again, we're at 9,275 subscribers, so I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for tapping the subscribe button. You guys are making the channel grow in more ways than one, and I just got to thank you guys each and every step of the way. Small Wiener Gang. Oh, shit. Too Legit 77 just subscribed. Thank you so much for subbing, man. I appreciate it big time. I'm going to put your name right back up on the board. Everybody give a round of applause to Too Legit 77. Small Wiener Gang. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate you guys. No, man, we're getting subscribers left and right. This is crazy. So thank you all for taking the time to subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Let's keep watching.
Was viciously mugged in the group right here. It's not happening anymore. You have a safe city.
Yeah.
Louisiana, the governor of Louisiana called me, could you help me with New Orleans? They just had the money grow. He said it was the safest money.
Bitcoin is shitting on itself right now. I mean, go figure, dude. Bitcoin sucks ass. So, you know me, I'm a anti-Bitcoin kind of guy. Oh, shit, man. Yeah, Bitcoin's crashing. Hell yeah. Of course Bitcoin's crashing because Bitcoin is Clickcoin. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Bitcoin sucks so much fucking ass, dude. And nobody likes Bitcoin. Nobody believes that Bitcoin's a safe haven. Bitcoin is not digital gold. It's just digital trash. It's digital trash, man. It's digital mold. It's digital trash. But yeah, I have been vehemently against Bitcoin for a while. I think Bitcoin is completely asinine, completely stupid. To all the Bitcoin bros out there, I mean, you guys could go S yourselves on this one. You know, I think that, you know, Bitcoin is ridiculous. And I think anybody with half a brain can at least acknowledge that Bitcoin sucks. I would like to believe you guys should be able to acknowledge that. But then again, you guys never want to acknowledge that Bitcoin is trash. When will people acknowledge that Bitcoin is trash? Maybe never. But man, everything's looking good. I've been I'm buying gold on the dip. I'm buying silver on the dip. Let's see. VWO's going down. That's sexy. Yeah, honestly, I'm just buying a lot of these index ETFs on the dip pretty much, and that's usually the way I do it, man. This is how we do it. So yeah, the more the markets go down, the better it is for me, because I'm a consistent dip buyer, man. I don't buy the momentum. I don't buy the momentum swing upward. I buy when everything's going down. I buy indices when the indices are going down, and it's one of the reasons I make a decent amount of money, is because I am a contrarian investor at heart. So yeah, I love buying the dip, man. When everybody's freaking out about things, that's when I tend to buy the dip on a lot of different index ETFs and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my main overall game plan for the most part. it's tended to work out for me very well over the years. So I do want to thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button. We're at 9,275 subs. Once again, we're at 9,275. If you guys can find it within your heart to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner, it will help the channel grow. Double tap the screen, though, to like the stream. Double tap the screen to like the stream. Let's go. Silver's going up. Yeah, no, I love silver, man. I'm a silver guy.
Mark Salmons 1288 says, whatever happened with Tennessee gold reserve situation? Mark Salmons
I don't know about that.
1288
Not
says,
sure.
story kinda went away.
Money grow we've ever had. Sounds terrible to say. No murders. You know, it sounds like, who would say this? No murders, but they always had murders. They had a lot of crime during Mardi Gras. He said virtually no
Yeah,
crime. We had the troops down there.
that's crazy, man. That is actually kind of wild. All the crime that happens in all these different states, it gets extreme sometimes, man. And a lot of it has to do with poverty, obviously. You know, that's a big factor.
Memphis, Tennessee, I just got back. We were there. Crime is down 75%. In a short period of time, we're there 5 months. We could do that for Chicago. We could do that for New York. We could do that for LA. And we could do that for, frankly, San Francisco. I know they have a mayor who's trying very hard. He's a Democrat, but he's trying very hard. But we can do it much more effectively because he can't do what we do. He can't take people out from the city and bring them back to the country from where they came, where they were in prisons. They were allowed to go in prisons. They were drug dealers, the highest level drug dealers, murderers, 11,888 murders. We do things that they can't do. I had friends calling me up from San Francisco. Could you give him a chance? I said, absolutely. If you want him, we'll give him a chance. He's trying. He's doing okay, but we could do much better. We could make it a lot safer than it is. San Francisco, a great city, was a great city, could quickly become...
Dude, San Francisco's a trash heap now, dude. San Fran is a total trash heap. Absolutely 100%. $100%, dude. Let's keep going.
A great city again, but you know they're going very slowly. I tell my friends they're very substantial people. They're in a certain business where people have made a lot of money. I hope that lasts, but they have a tremendous potential. It was one of the greatest cities in the world. Now it's got a lot of crime, and the mayor is really trying. Again, a Democrat trying, and I spoke to him. He just wants to have a chance. And I said, we'll give you a chance, but we can solve it very quickly. This young lady would be around today if we were around, because we have nobody coming through our border. I mean, literally for 9 months, it's zero. It's hard to believe that number can be possible because millions of people came in through Biden. But nobody even tries. We don't have the caravans of thousands, 25, 30,000 people pouring into our border. They come up in caravans. We don't have caravans anymore. There's no such thing anymore. It's a name that I think I developed, but somebody developed it, but I think it was me. I thought it was an appropriate name. Thousands of people would come up and just barge into our country, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. And this man came in, Dan, right? And he came in through the ridiculous open border of Biden. If we were there, the election was rigged, what are you going to do? Came back, big comeback. But if we were there, we wouldn't have had people coming through. It's amazing. You know, it's so easy now because everyone knows they're not getting through. We don't have any caravans. Once they know that, when it was easy.
Yeah, I love it because under Joe Biden, if you remember, like there was like constantly video of caravans of people in droves coming to the border and just getting through. Under the Joe Biden administration, under Trump's administration, nobody's even trying because they know they're going to get fucking ringed. They're going to go through the ringer. And this is why I love Trump. This is why I'm surprised people want Democrats in office. Because they're so soft on the border. Democrats are way too soft on the border. Like extremely, like to an extreme, I think to a fault. The Democrats are so weak on border security. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to me. I never understood. Well, I guess I understand. Democrats just, I'm not a fan of the Democrat Party. I think that the Democrat Party's lost its way. I think it used to be somewhat reasonable, but now it's just gotten to a point where it's just like the entire Democrat Party is so unbearable. It's so woke. The wokeness is what really killed it for me, I think, and also the people. Anybody, if you disagree with a leftist who's like a hardcore leftist, even in the slightest, they will turn on you and just rage at you and be like, "You're a Nazi, you're a bootlicker." Like they'll go hard. And that's one of the reasons why I don't take the left seriously. And honestly, I don't think anybody should. The left is too stupid for their own good, and the left has become a laughingstock. I know people are like, "Oh, Trump is so terrible, blah, blah, blah." Honestly, Operation Epic Fury, by the way, has been a game-changer success. I think that Operation Epic Fury is going to make Trump look good. I know he doesn't look great right now because prices are up. But that's temporary. A weak Iran is a good Iran. Trust me on this one. You do not, don't trust me, obviously. Don't trust me blindly. But yeah, no, a weakened Iranian military is a good military. You want to know why? Because Iran shouldn't be able to defend itself, to be quite honest. They've been the number one state sponsor of terrorism for years. Years upon years. So I don't trust the Democrats at all. I think the Democrats are stupid. I think once you give a Democrat power, you're making a huge, grave mistake. I think it's dumb. I gotta check my portfolio real quick. That's down. Not bad, dude. Yeah, I love it when everything's in the red because it's just a good investment opportunity half the time. So, I do enjoy it when my portfolio goes up, obviously, but at the end of the day, not bad at all.
To come through. When I heard that they had an open border policy, I said, boy, this is going to be, I couldn't believe it. But when it was actually, it dawned on me because I had built 1,000 miles of wall and we were finishing up some and he didn't want to finish it up. I said, they really do want to have an open border. And we got it finished. But
I like Joe Biden, he's number one. I love him, he's lots of fun.
That young lady would be alive today. And she'd be alive for another reason, because we would have the National Guard in Chicago and in New York and in other places. And they love doing it. It's like training, to be honest. It's actually training. I never want to take a...
Okay, so let's take a look here.
Thepasu says, Garza, if I were to invest $100 right now in stocks, what stocks should I look out for as a noob?
So I want to give you a heads up. This is not financial advice. This is for educational entertainment purposes only. I'll tell you what I would do if I had $100. So if I had $100 to invest right now, and it was my first time investing, I would not buy individual stocks. I would start buying an ETF. I would buy an ETF that is at least under $100. I would probably get into the Schwab. Actually, you know what? I mean, if you're looking for growth, if you want, it depends on your risk tolerance. Always talk to a financial advisor. But honestly, it depends on risk tolerance. So if I want massive growth quickly, but I'm okay with the volatility, I would go with a small cap exchange traded fund index. Schwab has a pretty good one. I think it's called the. In fact, this is one of the ones I swing trade. One of the ETFs that I swing trade is the SCHA. It's a US. It's the Schwab US small cap ETF. It has over, how many does it have? It has over 1,736 small cap companies indexed within this fund. So pretty good. I like it preferably. It's one of my favorite. It's actually one of my favorite small cap ETFs overall. So because it has a low price point. Like right now, it's only $29.06 per share. So if you wanted to get exposure to at least small cap companies, but by the way, there's a lot more violent swings with small cap companies. So if you wanted to swing trade it, you certainly could. Or if you wanted to long-term hold it, that's fine too. It's a good long-term hold in my opinion. Totally up to you though, but not financial advice. Like I said, only for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always talk to a financial advisor is probably one of the best things I could say. Even though I don't believe in financial advisors personally, but yeah, talk to a financial advisor. Do the right thing. Do the intelligent thing. But thank you so much. I appreciate the question. It's a good question, man. I will admit, when it comes to investing questions, I can answer them like a stud because I have a lot of experience investing. I have a lot more risk tolerance, though. I've got to add, I have way more risk tolerance than the average human being because I don't look at money as a life and death situation. Most people look at money as life and death. So when they see volatility in the markets, they're more likely to freak out about it than I am. When I see the markets dip, I mean, I just get into it because I know that's the right thing to do, is to be contrarian to the crowd. I will always be a contrarian to the crowd because I do believe the crowd is often wrong. I don't trust the crowd. I think the crowd is stupid for the most part. I think that society as a whole is pretty fucking stupid. I mean, OnlyFans is a great example of that. But yeah, no, I really do believe society as a whole is kind of stupid, and I don't trust the judgment of society in any way. So yeah, that's my take on it. Let me drink some Pepsi real quick. But yeah, thank you guys for subscribing, though, man. I'm really excited. We're only 25 subscribers away from hitting 9,300. We're at 9,275 subs. Once again, we're at 9,275. I can't believe it, man. We're only 25 subscribers away from hitting 9,300. So to all you guys out there, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for being part of the program, for being part of the show. I mean, you guys have made this show great, and I mean it. You guys have made this show incredible. If it wasn't for you guys, I mean, honestly, I'd be look, there's more upside in doing a YouTube channel than almost anything else these days. I wouldn't say almost anything else, but YouTube is one of the largest platforms out there. More people go on YouTube than TikTok, and I'm very proud to be a part of YouTube. I feel like YouTube has actually been more innovative overall than TikTok. I think TikTok is a one-trick pony. YouTube has withstood the test of time. It may not withstand the test of time forever, but it's only gotten better and better as a platform. I will admit, for a time being, I thought YouTube was going to die because it was censoring creators up the ass. But no, I actually have a lot more faith in YouTube, and I think creators feel like they can say what they want to say more. And I will admit, I want to thank Elon Musk for buying X, because X is kind of now a bit of a competitor to YouTube in the sense because X is very free speech oriented, whereas YouTube has to compete with that. So it has to allow its creators to freely speak their mind and their opinion. So thank you, Elon Musk, for buying X. You did force YouTube's hand to be less authoritarian towards its creators and what they say. I do believe in free speech. I think it's a good thing in every platform. Small wiener gang. Thank you so much, Swinley's channel. I appreciate you for subscribing. Everybody give a shout out to Swinley's channel, everybody. Thank you for subscribing, my brony bro. Hey, thank you, Annie. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. You know, we try to keep the show as fun as possible and as entertaining as possible. So we really do try to make it all work out in the end. I appreciate that, Annie. Thank you. You're amazing. Thomas says buy gold because the dollar is finished. I agree with that. I think buying gold is fantabulous. Anytime the price of gold dips in any way, shape, or form, I make sure I buy into it using ETFs. I'm constantly swing trading the price of silver and price of gold through ETFs. I use the IAU ETF and I use the SLV ETFs because they're ETFs that hold physical gold and stuff like that. Hey, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Ghost at Ghost Anderson 725 for sending a 100 for 2 joules. Once again, give a shout out to Ghost Anderson 725. Thank you for the gift, man. You know, anybody who sends a gift, we like to appreciate it as much as possible. Vacation Time says, "Mga, make Garza great again." I agree with that, man. You got to make my show great again, bro. Well, thank you so much, Ghost Anderson. I appreciate you, bro, for doing that, for sending the gifts. It does help the channel grow. Appreciate you, man. Cheers.
Come out of D.C. I mean, maybe somebody later on will do it, but I never want to take. You know, people, they look, they say, we feel so good, we feel so safe. We see these beautiful, strong people, and they're so nice. They help, they open the doors for people. They carry bags. They pick up paper when they see paper on the ground. I looked at D.C. last night. I drove to make a speech, and I drove through, and I said, take me this way, take me.
I will say I don't trust the dollar in the sense that the dollar has no intrinsic value because it's not backed by gold or anything. That is a bit of a problem to me. But look, man, I love what Trump is doing. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, am I glazing Trump a little bit? Sure, but I think Donald Trump's the man. Look, if you guys think that Donald Trump is a fantabulous president, please tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. But look, I'm a Trump fanboy. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm a big fan. I love him, man. I think he's cool. Give me a few moments. I realize I gotta kind of brush my teeth here in a second. I'm gonna drink this Pepsi and then I'm gonna brush my teeth. All I wanted was a Pepsi. But yeah, overall, I'm a huge fan of the Donald, obviously. You know, we talk about the Donald in high regard on this channel quite a bit. And, yeah, really excited overall. Yeah, Trump's the man, bro. Trump's the man.
ETRN7CH says, make Garza gay again.
Heck yeah, bro. No, I'm a Trump fanboy, dude. I love Trump. Trump makes me hump. Trump makes me hump. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, you guys. Just bear with me. Got to use the bathroom, bro. I got to get in there. All right. Got to get in there, bro. Hey, by the way, we're at 9,277 subscribers. Once again, we're at 9,277 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for tapping the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. I'm going to be in the bathroom for a little bit. I got to brush my teeth, and then I got to take a number 2. All right, let's see. Oh, my dad says I'm gooning. I am gooning right now. I'm watching the goats, dude. Hegseth, Trump Daddy Rubio, Daddy Hegseth. 9,277 subscribers, everybody. We're almost to 9,300. I'm very appreciative of each and every one of you guys. Yeah, you guys are incredible, man. Big shout out to everybody on this channel. I'm going to be probably ending the stream here in just a little bit, just because I do have some things I got to accomplish. I do have to take a walk here in a little bit. I just got to stretch my legs, and I got to go to bed kind of early tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a late night stream. We'll see what the cards hold for a late night stream tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to really be doing that. I'm going to probably be enjoying the sunshine for the rest of the day and then getting to bed early. I will be recording some short videos, though, on whatever is happening in the world, I guess. Give me a few seconds. Give me another moment. Let's actually go with 7. 7 of them. Okay. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay, I had to actually adjust a something in ChatGPT. It's a ChatGPT prompt that I've been using to do a couple pieces of research for me. It's been very handy. ChatGPT, dude. Hell yeah. All right, let's do this here real quick. Okay. So I will say that overall, we've been getting a lot of haters in the chat, obviously. We get so many haters on this channel, and maybe rightfully so. I understand there's a lot of people that are not big fans of this channel, and granted, I'm okay with that. I know that there's a lot of people who are just like, curmudgeons, But no, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. I think this may be probably the last live stream for the day. Like I said, I've been kind of needing to take a break from live streaming. So I decided I'm going to do some short videos. Those short videos will, get me more subscribers while I'm sleeping. And honestly, the short videos that have been doing the news have been really successful for the channel. So I'm going to keep doing those as well on top of the live streams. So pretty much live streams and short videos have been my main go-to, and I love it, man. Mark Salmon says F ChatGPT. I like ChatGPT, dude. I pay $20 a month for it. It's been one of the best subscriptions I've ever had. So, I can't really argue with it, man. It's a truly good subscription, and it's been a big moneymaker in a lot of ways. So I can't, you can't really argue with something that's making you money. No, it's been a very big contributor to a lot of stuff, So, but thank you, Mark Salmons. I appreciate you, bro. Trying to debate if I want to keep going on for a little bit on here. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to do. I'm actually just going to record. I'm just going to record some short videos, and yeah, I think we'll just call it quits for now. I will see you guys on the next episode, is what I like to call it, the episodes. But I do want to thank you guys once again for being so incredible. You guys make the show what it is. You guys make the show large and in charge. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys send a gift if you can. More gifts, more super chats. It does help. And we'll do what we got to do from here, man. So thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. We're at 9,278 subs. Once again, we're at 9,278. Let's go. We're going to end the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.